Hi again, and welcome back to Art Doll Tutorials. Today we're going to talk about some trimming, which is something that a few people have been requesting. We have this little guy here, and we're going to give him a trim down all his excess fur, just to make him look a little bit less like a Shih Tzu like he does now. There's two basic ways to trim fur fabric. You can use scissors, or you can use, let's get this over here, you can use clippers like these. These are just kind of regular dog grooming clippers. You can get them at like a pet supply place or something like that. So we're going to go through both of these. This little guy here, as you can see, this is a fully flocked doll. I've covered all the face here in fur. I've got videos on how to do that, which I'll link as well, so you can see how that's all done. So we're going to trim down the face, obviously, because it's completely obscured at the moment. And again, the legs, because there's a little bit too much fluff here. We want to kind of trim it down and give them a bit of shape. So we'll start off with this face here. You can see here we've kind of got the eyes and the mouth is there, but it's all very buried. So for the face, I'm going to use scissors. And scissors versus clippers. It's kind of personal preference, really, what you want to use. Obviously, scissors are a lot cheaper as well. Clippers a bit pricey, but quite worth it if you're doing this sort of thing a lot. But I'm going to use scissors on the face, and the reason for that is because the face is quite a small, complicated area with lots of little bumps and stuff. So if you're using scissors, you can get quite a bit of precision. So what I like to do first in this particular case, when I've got a fully flocked face like this, I'll get rid of all the fluff, obviously, because obviously on a real animal, the fur on the face would be very short, of course, the body. It's still shedding a little bit. That's just fairly normal for flocking. It'll shed quite a lot. Which does bring me on to another little thing I want to mention regarding this. When you trim fur, you get a lot of these little hair particles floating around in the air, and it does tend to go all over the place. So be very careful around electronics. Don't do this nearby any computers. I'm pretty sure my last computer did slow down quite an awful lot because of this getting clogged up in the heatsink. So keep this away from computers. If you can do it over a hard floor where you can sweep up afterwards, that's always a bonus. Unfortunately, I'm not, but do the best you can. Also be careful because it is possible to breathe in the little fluffy particles. They can irritate the inside of your nose, and you'll get symptoms very similar to an allergy attack or a cold. So that's something to watch out for. Ways around this: you can run an air purifier, you can wear like a dust mask, or you can do nasal rinsing, which is a little bit unusual, but this is actually what I do because I have allergies anyway. And it does help a lot if you've got any irritation afterwards. So be aware of that. Just a few little safety tips before you get started. So I'm gonna clean out the face here. What I generally like to do here, first of all, is to find all the bits that are obscured. So the eyes, for example, I'll start off just kind of freeing out the eyes. And what I'll do is I'll fluff it up with the scissors like this, and I'm just gonna do a big kind of very rough snip. And just be careful with all that fluff. You can kind of keep it together. That's always a good thing. You can see here, I'm not cutting it. Don't cut it too short because remember it won't grow back. A little bit. I don't know. So you can see what I do is I fluff it up when it's against the grain, so it kind of does that. And you can see kind of like we've freed one of the eyes there. You can kind of see that, and that gives you some idea of like the landmarks of the face. So I'll do the same on the other side. And fluff it up against the grain so you can kind of see where the eye is, and then just this is quite rough at the moment. We're not trying to be too smooth. We're just trying to get an idea of where we're going. So don't cut it right all the way down to the base because you don't want to clean this up again. Like I said, it will not grow back. And if you completely mess up like this, you can add some extra flocking to just kind of redo spots if you need to. But it's a pain. You don't want to have to do that, so just try and get those little bits that are sticking out there. You can see there, it's not perfect, but if I put that, just get the camera to focus a little bit, you can see there, you've got some sort of idea where the eyes are now. So that's one of the landmarks of the face that'll help you get around. I want to do the same for the mouth. So the mouth is there's a mouth here. It's a bit buried, but it's there. And if I just pull that back, and again, use the blade of your scissors to kind of ruffle through it, you can see there. You can just about see there's a lip there. So I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to kind of snip and snip again. And again, just going to free that bit and just make it easy to see. When I'm at it, I'll just do all that bit there on the muzzle. Again, very rough, not try to be perfect. And again, you're always kind of doing this, you're brushing it backwards and make it very visible. Same on this side. Find that mouth. Of course, how much trimming you want to do really does depend on what animal you're doing. If this was like a terrier or like I said, a Shih Tzu, probably wouldn't be trimming too much because they have so much fluff on their faces anyway. But in this particular case, we want short panther, so and just if you can kind of keep the bits that you've got off together and just kind of keep them to one side so they don't float off everywhere. You can't keep it perfectly tidy, but you can do your best. You can see there, and again I'll just get that camera to focus. Got a little bit more of a face here, so move on to the chin there. Again, you'll notice that I'm keeping the scissors along the grain. I'm not cutting like this. The fur is going that way, away from the mouth, and I'm not cutting like that because it tends to look a bit choppy. Well, it does look choppy anyway because I'm just roughing it out, but you know what I mean. If you see any, and if you push it backwards, if you see any like sticky out bits there, so you can see there's a bit of longer fur there that kind of escapes, so you can just snip, snip, snip. And the most important thing here is little snips. Don't do big things all at once. So again, I'm going to do the bridge of the muzzle there. To the camera to focus. And snip, snip, snip. I'll do very big ones at the moment because I'm just roughing it, but there we go. Starting to get a bit of face here. Okay, so I want to neaten this up a bit. This is where I do the little snips. So now we've got a very rough look. It's very choppy looking, but it doesn't. But we've got the idea. And again, you can kind of push it backwards to see if there's any long bits that you miss. So what I'm going to do now is just neaten everything up. What we're going to do is we're going to run through this bit in. We're going to speed it up, and we're going to come back to you when this is all done so you can see what it looks like. So I'll see you guys in a minute. there we go. This isn't absolutely perfect. I still kind of want to, this still probably needs to be a little bit cleaner around the eyes and the nose and the mouth. Sometimes you get a few little stray bits and pieces of hair, you kind of need some tweezers to pull them out. That's fairly normal. Might do a little bit of a touch up on this. It's a little bit difficult sometimes to get good angles while you're filming, but this is looking pretty good, I think. We can see now that we've lost that kind of big fluffy blob face and we've got something that looks like a cute little fox. Well, Vulpix actually, this is an lowland Vulpix. So there we go, that's kind of the face, and I think there's just a couple of little long strands there. See what I mean? Sometimes you've got to kind of do it and then kind of come back to it a little bit later and think, oh, there's a little bit there that I didn't quite catch. It's really normal. It just happens. So that's one side of things. So what we're going to do now is move on to the legs. And see again, there's two. I've actually used two different furs. I've got the main white fur there, and the blue on the socks, on the sock markings there is a little bit shorter. So I'm going to want to trim down this blue a little bit, just so the feet aren't totally fluffy. I'm also going to want to trim down the white here so it blends into the blue a little bit more, because you can see the pilot's about twice as long. Doesn't look very natural. So what I'm going to do here is get the clippers out. So again, these are just regular kind of dog clippers. You can get them at any sort of pet supply place. Pretty easy to get hold of. Again, you could do this with scissors as well, but I'm using the clippers just to show you two different ways of doing it. So I do apologise because these will be very, very loud when I switch them on. I'm not sure you can do about them. I've just given them a clean out, but they're just loud. It's in the nature. So again, with your clippers, I'm going to turn this on. There you go. So it's just two little blades rubbing against one another there. So what you want to do is again stick with the grain of the fabric. Don't go across. You want to go either down or up like that. It's an up type thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to twitch one and I'm just going to do a quick skim over here just to try and get it to blend a bit. Oops. That's just the outer part. You can see there it doesn't really take very much off. You want to do it quite lightly, so just light little skims. Don't dig in and go zzz, like that, because you will get right down to the base of the fabric and it'll look awful. You have to resew it. So I'm just going to keep doing that. Just see there, it's not quite done, but I'm just going to get rid of all that fluff that's it's taken off there. You see I'm skimming over the fur. I'm going into the blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep doing that. It's not quite done. There's a lot still long there, but you can see how that blends in quite a lot nicer there. There isn't really a length gradient, like there's proper length gradient. It's not like here's the short fur, here's suddenly a lot longer fur. And it gives the limb a lot more definition, because obviously most animals will have slightly shorter fur on the limbs, just not quite as short as on the face, but It's usually a bit shorter and there's more definition. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep going on with these clippers now. And again, remember, it's little strokes like this. Don't dig in, little strokes. Just skimming over the top and taking little bits off. Work very slowly, very carefully. Don't rush it, whatever you do. So I'm going to keep going on this limb here, and I'm going to keep do the back limbs on the same. And I will speed that up, and I'll see you all again in just a minute. Alright then, so that's, I'm going to call that more or less done for the legs. You can see there's quite a little bit more definition now, not so fluffy. They're probably not perfect, it is a little bit difficult to get the angles right when you're filming. But I usually find that I'll do a pass one day and then I'll kind of sit on it for a while and then look at it again and think, oh, there's a couple of stray hairs there, I'll trim them down. That happens, it's pretty normal. Just don't rush yourself is, I would say, the most important thing. Like I always keep saying, remember, it won't grow back. If you've got a big bald patch, you have to cover it up, you have to sew it up somehow. And again, like you saw me doing, very quick passes, go lightly over the fur, don't do big deep gouges, and as you could see me doing, stop for a while, brush it off, smooth it down, see how it looks, give yourself an idea of how it's going to look when it's all kind of tidied up and everything. Just keep going on from there. So last off, I just want to trim around the feet a little bit because there's just a little bit too much fluff there. So this is really simple. I'm just going to quickly snip around the edges. Like so. Not too much, you don't want to trim it all the way back. And this is much like doing when I was doing the face, little snips, ease it in, try to go with the grain. And just try to blend it in with the fur on the foot. I don't want to trim too much because I figure these little guys will probably have quite fluffy feet because they live in the snow. It really depends on what you're going for. But it's mainly just like doing the face, little snips. For most animals, again, the paws will have very short fur. I'm also just going to do a little bit between the toes, just for a bit more definition. Just there. There. In there. I'm just going to see where the toes go. So I'm just going to do that for the rest of the feet. And again, I'll just kind of we'll speed through this, and I'll see you again in a minute. And again, there we go. So, like I said before, I'm probably not going to call this totally done. I will find little bits that are a bit out of place and probably go and snip them off again. This is as good a place to end it as anything else. So I hope you all managed to learn something from this. Remember, I can only show you the way I do things. It's not necessarily going to be the way other people do things, and it's not necessarily going to be the way you should do things either. Everyone has their own techniques. I could show you how to do something perfectly step by step, and you'll find your own spin on it, I'm sure you will. In particular, clippers, like I said before, they're quite expensive. If you don't have clippers, if you don't want to go to all the trouble of having to buy them and put down all that money, that's absolutely fine. You can do the whole thing with scissors, and it'll look just fine. I just find that clippers sometimes make it a little bit quicker and easier, but you don't certainly need them. It's just a nice to have sort of thing. So again, remember, I can only show you what I do. I can't tell you what to do exactly. That's for you to work out yourself, and that's the fun of it. So this little guy's almost done, actually. We need some ears on him, obviously, maybe a few little finishing touches around the face, but more or less done, really. So I hope you learned anything useful from this. I hope you gained something. That's what I always want to do, is to share things and help you out and help you make things of your own, because that's one of the most fulfilling things you can do, is to go out there and make something. Doesn't matter what it is. Could be a sculpture like this. Could be something. Could be a painting. Could be a piece of writing. Doesn't matter. Go out and make something. It's the best thing you can do with your life. So I hope you picked something good from this. I hope you're inspired. If you are, I'll be very, very happy. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. So bye.